please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged, come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone who would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we begin tonight, there is one adjournment on our agenda. It's application 25093 of A&D Entrances in Wyandanch. Is there anybody here on that application? It's being adjourned to July the 17th. First application tonight's application 25085 of Andrew Perlusky and Jacqueline Perlusky, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Andrew Perlusky, 178 Hawthorne Avenue, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June 10th, 2025, Environmental Control memo dated June 23rd, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Michael Scalise dated April 10th, 2025, tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, there's 7 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. I'm just looking to put a 20 by 14 garage where the current driveway is. I saw there was a mention of potentially moving it. Right now, we'd prefer to keep it in the original location because there is a gate that would open up into the stairway right there if we were to move that a little bit further south. So that's currently the idea, just putting a garage on the driveway.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Good evening, how are you?
Good.
What gate would move into, well, I didn't quite understand that.
So there is a gate that opens into the backyard onto the patio. If we were to move that south, it would open up into the staircase where the side door is that opens up onto the driveway.
Well, can we move it to the rear of the yard and then move it over 3 feet?
Move what to the rear of the yard?
The proposed structure?
Oh, move it 3 feet backwards, you mean?
Well, both.
So right now there is a patio that the door will open onto that's matched up with where the fence is currently. So we wouldn't be able to move it west, and if we were to move it south again, the door we would have to relocate, and that would open onto the staircase that is presently there.
And the purpose of this is, the garage is?
Just for storage, to work on a car if we need to, or if there's snow, to just move the car in there.
No commercial work?
No commercial work.
Okay. You agree that if we were to approve this, you have no habitable space in the garage?
Yep, there will be no habitable space.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Good. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 25-085, the condition that there be no habitable space permitted in the detached garage and no commercial work permitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Next application is application 25084 of Bentley St. Jean and St. Jean, property located in Wheatley Heights. Name and address for the record, guys.
18 Manchester Boulevard, Whitley Heights, New York.
Ma'am?
Bentley Saint Jean.
Johnny Beaulieu St. Jean, 18 Manchester Boulevard, Whitley Heights, New York.
And do you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June 10th, 2025. A Environmental Control memo dated June 23rd, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. We have a survey by, I can't read that. It's dated 3/3/25. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, there's 5 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, sure. The application is just for us to
Pull
get...
that mic down just a little bit so we can, there you go.
Hi, the application is for us to put in an in-ground pool. And that's all it is.
That's it?
That's it, an in-ground pool.
Okay. So the one question we're asking is, would you agree that there are no pavers around the pool?
No pavers, only the coping,
Just the coping of the pool, that's it? No pavers, no?
no pavers, no nothing.
Okay.
And we are putting on removing the current patio.
And you're moving the current patio?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the patio is bigger than the pool that we're putting in, so. that
Right.
could just-
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to approve application 25084 with a condition on the face of the CO. There's no pavers around the pool.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good swim. Could have used it the 3-4 days before this. Next application's, application 25086 of Paul and Anna Reiners, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the record.
Hi, good evening. Christina Bravin, Morano Expediting, P.O. Box 39, Bethpage, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June 10, 2025, Environmental Control memo dated June 23, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Andre Miller dated December 4th, 2017, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 6 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
So we're requesting permission to install an in-ground pool with paver patio and outdoor kitchen, increasing the maximum lot area occupied from 30% to 35%, which is 555.48 square feet over. All structures are proposed with compliant setbacks. The outdoor kitchen will be contained within the perimeter of the proposed patio. The patio and pavers will maintain setbacks of 6 feet from both the rear and side property lines. The proposed kitchen is a barbecue, a pizza oven, and a keg tap, no kitchen sink. And along the rear and side property, the owners have already planted evergreen shrubs that should grow 8 to 12 feet and screen this all from the neighbors. If you have any further questions, we do have the planning memo, and actually, with regarding to the merging of the lots, it's outside of the scope of our office, but we did inquire about it. And so they just have a little bit more questions as to what that would really entail, but it's not part of the application, but we are aware of the comments.
Okay, thank you. Turn hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Till we get a response from them? Okay. So you already agreed that we're going to maintain a 2-foot setback, at least a 2-foot setback from the surrounding property lines?
Yes.
And the merging of the 2 lots is part of the application, so we are going to hold it based on us contacting the property owners to see what information they're looking for in response to, that's one of the conditions, so we can't move on the application without that.
Okay, we didn't understand it as a technical condition of the application for the pool because the 2 lots, they maintain the 2 lots, they own the 2 lots, they live there currently. So there's no, we can't move forward with the pool without it?
Correct.
It's impossible?
We prefer to hold it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I really didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Wouldn't be able to maintain an accessory structure pool on a lot separate from the main dwelling.
Because a portion of the pool spans over the other lot, even though the dwelling currently spans over both lots? It's, okay, understood. They were hoping to not delay it so that they could get the pool in and use it for the summer, but I guess not. Okay.
It won't take that much longer. Our next meeting is the 7th, so we'll reach out to them and hopefully they respond back quickly.
Do you know how long the process takes?
They don't need to do it before now, they would just have to
Agree
agree to this.
to it? Okay.
Before they get a CO, they would need to do it, which I don't need.
Okay.
with the condition.
Okay. I mean, we did reach out to try to get some information on what needed to be done as far as contacting the tax assessor's office, and so they know a little bit about the process, but not the full. Okay. All right. So we'll accept that condition, contingent on C of O as far as with the pool. Okay.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Yes.
Do I need to fill out anything?
No, just name and address for the record.
My name's Anna Reiners, and my address is 296 Silver Street, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to tell us?
So just as a question to clarify, so there are the two plots of land. We pay taxes on both of them, and the structure of the pavers, does it actually go into the second plot?
Looks like it's going to. I don't have the exact line on your survey, but it
Because it's a very small sliver, like our tax bill is like very small for what that plot is. And this process has been delayed now. We first applied for our permit in October of last year, and it is now almost July. And it's been an extraordinarily long process, quite frustrating. We maintain our property very well. We're trying to increase the value of our neighborhood, and I just feel like we continuously run up against these things that we pay our taxes, everything is above ground, we're doing everything above, you know, we're not doing anything behind scenes. And we are open to merging these two properties, the two property slips, but also like I'm hesitant to say yes right now and then have a $10,000 bill come down on top of me afterwards to merge these two things on top of it. So I'm just trying to get some clarification as to what the process is or what the cost ultimately might be in order to do this.
So I can't speak for the terms of the cost of the assessment. You have to talk to the tax assessor about that. But the process wouldn't be a process. This decision with that condition would then get forwarded to the tax assessor.
Can I ask why we would need to merge these two properties? Like, what is the point?
Because what you're proposing to do is on both lots.
But that lot is so small that we could never sell it for anything other than the combined lot. Like, we can never build anything on it. There's nothing else that we could sell it as a portion just to put an apartment or anything else on it. It's so small because it was once a much larger lot, like way back in the 1950s. It was owned by one person, split between two brothers, and then one brother bought a little bit more from the other brother. So it really is just a small sliver of the lot. We could never build a structure on it or a house or anything to sell as its own lot. Yeah, so that's, again, so then I'm not understanding why we're still gonna pay taxes on both of them. They're still gonna be there.
If you'd like to take 2 weeks so that you can talk to the assessor's office and answer your questions, and then the board will be able to make a decision based on your decision. But it would not be good planning to have a pool half on one lot and half on another, so it just makes the most amount of sense for the two lots to be merged.
But it's not even gonna be half on one lot. Like, what I'm trying to discern here is that, is it actually even in that lot? Because the portion of the secondary lot is small. It might not even run into where the pool planning is. And that's the one lot right there, where that's outlined in yellow?
Yeah. What is it gonna be, the pavers when it goes back?
Yeah. So what is this? I'm beyond frustrated with this whole situation.
Yeah.
But then we have to submit new plans, and we're back to square one again. Like, and if I agree to it today, like, what happens? Yeah. Before anything happens.
I'm looking at this here, the house goes right through one of those.
The house goes through it.
And if they,
How they get that done?
so, how do I get my pool done? That's really what I want to know. How does that happen?
So, why don't you look into this, find out exactly what has to be done, and if there's an expense to it. We don't have a meeting next week. We have a meeting the week after that. Contact us through the zoning board office, and we'll take a look at this. So we'll find out where we're at with that, you know what I mean? Where you gonna be at with that to get this done,
Okay, thank you
right.
very much for your time.
all right? You're not happy. Somebody wants to be here. Oh. Name and address for the record?
Jacqueline White, 302 Silver Street, West Babylon, New York.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what would you like to tell us?
I just basically would like to support the Reiners. They are my neighbors. I live right next door to them. They're outstanding citizens, and they have a beautiful family. And it's it's such a small technicality, in terms of just finishing paperwork that is archaic. I know when I purchased my house in 1985, it was, that area was called something else that I don't even remember. So it's just things like that. But I came here because I wanted to just say that they are truly outstanding neighbors. And I just wanted you to maybe take that into consideration.
We will take that into consideration, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? The record, there are none. Okay, we're going to close the hearing, we're going to reserve decision. We will keep the record open, okay? All right? Next. Next application is application 25091 of Vincent Mazzelli, property located in Farmingdale.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
Vincent Malaysia, 22 Walnut Avenue East, Farmingdale, New York, 11735.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 10, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 23, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by William Hogan dated June 30, 2024. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs in the site plan by Norman C. Locke dated November 25th, 2024.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
So yes, so previously this board approved me to maintain the existing awning that was on the back of my property while I'm putting an in-ground pool. In the process, the awning is dilapidated, so we decided to take it down and instead put up a new awning. With that being said, the new awning will be more in line with the code of the town of Babylon, whereas it won't be out, maintained was out to the end of the house, where the new one will now be in the rules to the wall of the house. So we're asking for a variance for less lot coverage and less area to be approved away from the property line. So essentially, we instead of maintaining, we're doing a new awning, which will benefit all the laws of the town of Babylon.
So this is less than you got prior?
Yeah, this is less than what we got approved for prior. But they said we still had to go in front of the board again, even though you guys already approved us to do a larger variance. Now we're asking for a lesser of one.
Okay.
So previously, you guys approved to go from 10 to 6.9. Now we're going from 10 to 8.1. And we went from 41.48%. No, I'm sorry, from 43.86% to 41.48%. So we've lessened the variance that we needed for this new awning instead of maintaining the existing awning.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Are there any other proposed changes to the site?
No, this will be that. And I apologize having to come up before you guys again.
No,
I
it's
didn't
fine.
realize. I figured since you approved the maintain, if we're putting up a new one, it'd be no problem. But I apologize. And no, there'll be no other questions, no other applications.
Awning not being closed.
Yeah, would you agree to a condition that the awning not be enclosed?
The awning is not enclosed, correct? It's
And
wide
you'll
open.
agree that it'll never be enclosed?
Never be enclosed. Wide open on all 3 sides.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I will make a motion to approve application 25091 with a condition on the face of the CO that the awning never be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck. Thank you.
Board. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Next application is application 25088 of Salvatore and Janine Gerbino, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the oh. we gotta do it.
Chairman, I recuse.
Okay. What do we do? Name and address for the record.
Salvatore Gerbino, 103 Kime Avenue, North Babylon, New York, 11703.
Okay. And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June 10th, 2025, Environmental Control memo dated June 23rd, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Suffolk County Planning memo dated June 12th, 2025, decision of local determination, take no position for or against. A survey by Jason Lettingham dated April 27, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And,
Chairman, there's 6 photographs.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, so after the pool was installed, the contractor that came in that was supposed to do the coping realized the pool was installed about a foot or so too high. And that created a grading and pooling issue that would cause all the water to come back towards the house. So pretty much the pavers, they came up with this design to fix the grading, which pretty much made the whole backyard level, stabilized, and safe. It wasn't done out of preference. It was a little bit more than we anticipated. You know, it was done out of, you know, for functionality. It was done for.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
All right, so, I mean, it does look nice, but you are aware that the pavers were supposed to have at least a 2-foot buffer.
Right, yeah. I mean, I was at work when it was all done. My wife was at home, so I really had no say in what they were doing. It kind of got done that way. I am a fire marshal out in Southampton, so I know the codes. So yeah, I mean, and ripping it up right now is just gonna cause like a bunch of drainage issues, safety issues for my kids, because there's gonna be like a 1.5 foot drop down along all the edges. So it's kind of, you know, for safety and other issues, so.
We agree to not further.
No, the backyard is finished. There's no more, that's done.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no more work being done back there, correct.
That's a question.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the
Perfect.
mail.
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
down.
Appreciate it.
See you, Mr. Chairman. I was going to hold it. Next application is application 25090 of Baloo Howlander, property located in North Babylon.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record,
My name is
please.
Babul Howlader and address is 66 Pulse Lane, North Babylon, zip code 11703.
You do affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June the 10th, 2025, Environmental Control memo dated June the 26th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Alphonse Pesci dated October 15th, 2024. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, there's 5 photographs on the site plan by Louis Schultz dated February 25th, 2025.
And we do need the affidavit of posting and the photographs. Do you have
Yes, I did.
submit them?
Yes.
How did you submit them? Did you email them or did you
Yes.
drop them off?
Email.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
bought this house. Since I bought it, I was trying to do a new kitchen and one adding on bathroom. And since then, I bought it almost a year. I was not able to move in there and until I was not able to do anything. And according to this paper, they was asking, there's a boarded in the back in the window, and the window was broken, so I bought it up. Number two, I have it in here, is there's a lot of issue with this. It said there's a shed on the on the side of the house, and I can take it out that shed also. And there's another one also. There's a pool in the back also. It has a CO for it. But I was trying to convert the garage as a living area that was in there before also. And I was trying to just legalizing it. And there's a patio is in there also. They built it in 1991. And same way I bought it, I don't do anything. And I was trying to convert it, like to legalizing it. So they are saying not too much space is in there according to total area of the land size, and house is too big.
When did you purchase the
And-
property?
Oh, that was almost a year ago.
A year ago?
Yes.
And it's still vacant?
Yes.
It is still vacant.
Yes.
Okay.
And they had it. The basement was illegal. The kitchen was in there, and I'll take once I get the permit. Have the plan submitted in there. I'm gonna take out the kitchen also from there, and there's no bedroom will be in there.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna open up the basement completely.
Open up the basement and taking out the kitchen and also shed on the side of the house.
You're gonna
I'll take-
remove that?
I'll remove that
Perfect.
also, and
So the pool, you plan to keep that?
the plan I want to keep it. Yes.
What about the pavers? Are you able to lift any of the pavers? Like the whole rear yard is paved, pretty much.
I can take it out if you want to, but I don't see any problem is in there. If it's according to code, I have to take it off. I can take it off.
Just 2 feet around the perimeter, all property lines. So
Okay,
there
I'll
has to be a
take it
little
out.
buffer there.
I'll take it out.
If you could do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said the garage, you do plan on using that as a habitable space?
Is in there as the bedroom is in there.
A bedroom is in there?
Yeah, that's the build in 1991.
And you plan to maintain that?
To keep it also. If I can, please.
Attached garage, it's in for a garage conversion.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So just some cleaning up. If we're gonna do the pavers, we can remove some of these variances, but then that means you would have to. In order to get your
Okay, I
CO, you
will-
must do the work that you're
Okay,
agreeing to.
I will do it.
You will?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we can do this, this, and this. Oh, yeah, we need an updated lot coverage. Yeah, 609, I got that. That's it. What about 4? Oh, 4 he's gonna redo. All right, but I can just remove 6 through 9 now. Yeah. I make a motion to remove variances 6 through 9 on application 25090. Okay.
Favor? Aye.
He said he's removing the shed. And then we would need you to resubmit, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the lot coverage would change based on you removing some of the pavers in the rear yard?
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, so we would need you to resubmit, what is that, plans?
Yeah, so your engineer would have to show that on the plan and redo these calculations.
Okay, so we're gonna do it before, we're gonna take it out now, or you can do it later when you get the permit?
Take them up right now, but you have to show on the plan that you're removing the shed and 2 feet around the property. And they have to update these numbers that they gave us.
The lot coverage.
See
Okay,
it on the screen, you submitted this plan.
yes,
Your engineer or whoever did this, looks like an engineer did it,
yes.
would have to redo these numbers based on removing these patios that you just agreed to.
Okay, around the pool, okay.
Around the pool, 2 feet on all sides.
we'll take out the shed and then the pave, we're gonna take it 2 feet, and how many feet I can keep it next to the pool, you say?
Just 2 feet from the property lines, this back property line and the 2 sides.
Okay, I'll take it at 2 feet from both sides.
And then just have them update these numbers.
Okay.
All right, and then we just have 2 conditions: no cooking facilities permitted in the basement and no sleeping quarters permitted in the
No
basement.
problem. Yes, I'll
Perfect.
do that.
All right, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for new plans showing all the changes that you're going to make that we just discussed. And once we get that, then we can move your application.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right?
Thank you. Next application and applications are 25089A and B, property located in West Babylon. It's Frank and Nancy Aprea.
Evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is David Roth. I'm the attorney for the applicant.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 10th on the A application. Department of Environmental Control memo dated June 26, 2025. If we were to move this application, it would need a negative declaration. On the B application, we have the same planning memo dated June 10th, 2025. And I believe the same environmental control memo. We have surveys on both applications A and B from Charles Gravano, both of them dated September 6, 2024, and an overall survey also by Charles Gravano dated September 6, 2024, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman has 8 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
To begin, I'd like to submit not reading, but summarizing some of the high points for it.
Okay.
Make the presentation. And it includes certain exhibits, which I'll reference as I go through it. As the board can see from the application and the planning division comments, this is an application to subdivide an existing a lot which is 16,908 square feet in the C district, and there's one house on the lot now which is fronts on Farragut, and the lot extends on a corner around to America, and the proposed plan is to split the lot so that there would be a 60 by 100-foot lot for a new home to be built on America. Now, the lot is slightly irregular, but it's essentially rectangular, and it has 160 feet along the south side of America Avenue and 111.75 feet along Farragut Road. The variances that we're requesting for the existing house would not require any lot area relief. It would be in fact oversized, so even after the proposed subdivision, but because of the way the house is configured on that lot, and that's the second one, lot 2, it needs side yard relief and it needs rear yard relief, but those are setbacks that are existing already, and they don't really affect anyone differently than it would be, except for the diminishment of the rear yard, which would affect the newly created lot, which would be like back to a side yard. The rear yard of the existing house will abut it up against the side yard of the proposed new house. For the proposed new house, it would requires lot diminishment from the 7,500 square foot area down to 6,000, and it requires street frontage from 75 to 60. We're also seeking some very minor, modest variance relief from for the new house in order to have a front porch, looking for a small setback relief on the front yard, and on the rear yard for the same thing with respect to a cellar entrance. But other than those two minor setbacks for just the front porch and for the cellar entrance, all the setbacks are being maintained, and it meets code for the front, rear, side, and both sides with respect to the principal dwelling itself. One of the things that I suggested in the layout was to keep the side yard for the proposed new dwelling that would abut up against this diminished rear yard to be the wider of the two side yards. And we would also agree to maintain that the rear yard for the existing house and the abutting side yard for the proposed new dwelling, that nothing would ever be built in between them. And that way you would have an aggregate of, I think, 14 feet for the proposed rear yard for the existing house, and the required setback for the proposed new house of 15. So you've got about 30 feet, roughly 30 feet in between the side yard of the proposed new dwelling and the rear yard of the existing dwelling. Now, the variances that are required for this existing house are necessary in order to subdivide the property. The Planning Division makes a comment that because of the lot size, you could theoretically meet code with respect to the existing house, but that would require a demolition or moving the house itself, which is certainly not practical. And as I said before, those variances or those setbacks are existing. They're not bothering anybody. They've been there for a long time. So as the board is well aware, the standards for area variances are embodied in Town Law 267B3, which requires a balancing test to be applied. Basically, you take a look at the potential benefits to the owner in granting the variances, you weigh that against the potential harm or detriment to the community or the public if the variance relief was granted. And when you do that on a basis of this application, or apply that to this application, I think that you would have to agree that the benefits to the applicant are quite significant. He's got a piece of property that is just shy of 17,000 square feet when only 7,500 is required. He's got more than twice the amount that's needed for two homes. And because of the way this property was originally developed with that existing house, he just has to have some minor variances to create a second lot. But the lot area is met. Overall, you have more than twice the amount for two legally sized, or two lots of 7,500 each. You have well over 15,000 square feet. So, looking at this, I can't see that that granting these variances would cause any harm to the community. One of the exhibits that I included in my memorandum is a copy of the tax map, which I'm sure you're familiar with this method where you identify other lots in the area and color code the map, which I've done. And I've found just on America Avenue alone, on that stretch, something like 11 homes that are on 60 or less, 60 feet or less. And there's another one just to the just a block away on Farragut from the existing house. So you have 12 homes in the immediate surrounding area that are on 60 feet or less. One of the homes in particular I wanted to mention because it's also a corner lot, or it's a 60-footer, which the side yard goes up against the rear yard of the house on Sherbrooke, a block away. I can give you the address in a moment. 54 Sherbrooke. So 54 Sherbrooke has a house on the corner, like the existing house on Farragut, and I picked that out because as I was driving through the neighborhood to look for properties that might be similar, I noticed that the house at 54 Sherbrooke really had no backyard. It had, like the house we're proposing for the existing house on Farragut, being a corner lot, it needs 2 front yards, and it has both of those front yards, and as does the existing house on Farragut. But there was really no backyard up against the side yard of the 60-foot lot, which is adjacent to the house on 54 Sherbrooke. And I found, when I looked in the records on that the board had in fact granted variance relief to the home at 54 Sherbrooke to add a breezeway and with a garage, so it's all attached to the main structure of the house, and basically took away the whole backyard. But we weren't able to find in the records exactly how much relief was granted. So I used aerial photographs from Google Images, included them in my exhibit. And if you look at them, you'll see that you basically granted enough relief to diminish the backyard far more than we're asking for in our case. And in our case, the 14 feet would remain open. We're willing to covenant that it stays open, and we're willing to covenant that the 15 feet that would be on the side yard abutting also remains open, which assures that you'll have more open space than you ended up with when you approved. I'm not saying it was this board, it was a board, your predecessor board, but the board did approve rear yard relief in a very similar context that was far greater than what we're asking for. So I did want to address some points in the planning comments. One was there's a recommendation that if the board were to approve the subdivision, that the existing house would be maintained. They point out that it is a rental, and it is a rental now. It has a rental permit. But they make a recommendation that the board essentially ask for the usual covenant for owner occupancy. And what I would ask the board to consider, if they're, and what the applicant is certainly willing to do, is, since he has an existing tenant in there now, and they don't have any plans to sell it, and it would be, it would essentially require a sale if you were to impose that covenant. In order for him to be in compliance, that I would ask for the covenant to take effect upon the first sale, upon any sale of the property, and that he be allowed to keep it as a rental so long as he continues to own it. The owner and his wife are in the back, and not to be foretelling of doom or anything, but he's just turned 90, so it will be sold eventually, but and certainly not in the long term. It'll be sold, and then eventually that covenant would take effect, so you would have that covenant. It would only be sold to an owner occupant, is what I'm suggesting. Also, there seems to be a suggestion, or at least an implication in the comment, that the garage was converted in the existing dwelling. It was not. There is still a garage on the existing dwelling. They talk about the fact that the dwelling once had a breezeway that was connected to a garage, and then they indicate that it's used for or that they say that the setbacks are to the attached garage, which when constructed were non-habitable space. It still is non-habitable space, that's my point. So those existing setbacks were for non-habitable space. It still is non-habitable space. So I think when you look at all the potential benefits to be achieved from granting the variances, and I wanted to, since the planning division suggests that the board, if they approve the variance for the subdivision, that they would approve the lot area and the lot and the street frontage, but possibly not look favorably upon the requests for the front yard setback and the rear yard setback that are solely related to having a cellar entrance and a front porch. They suggest that we could comply, which we could. We could eliminate both of those structures. We could also have a smaller front porch, which meets the code with respect to permitted encroachments. But that would require us to reduce the size of the porch, which I think is just shy of 15 feet across now, to one that would only be 6 feet. And they also suggest that you could diminish the size of the house. You could make the house not as deep, which would require losing 4 feet across the house, which is, I think, 30 feet. So you're losing 120 square feet per floor. So they're basically suggesting that the point is if you look at the benefits of maintaining those structures against the detriment of allowing these variances, you're getting far more benefit by allowing the variances, and there really is no detriment, because the setback from the street is still going to be 30 feet to the principal dwelling, and certainly the porch can be maintained open, and the benefit of having a much wider porch, which allows more use, is greater to any, and I think outweighs any potential detriment. And the same thing can be said with respect to the cellar entrance. Having owned a home previously myself that did have a cellar entrance in the back, I found that it provided a lot of benefit to the homeowner, myself in that case. And in this case, it won't really affect anyone since the fence is enclosed. I mean, the yard is enclosed by a fence, and there's still going to be 30 foot of rear yard to the principal dwelling itself. A basement is not a basement entrance is not a structure that goes up into the air and is going to affect any of the neighbors in any way. So with that said, I'll take any questions that the board may have.
I have a question before I turn it over. So on the DEC memo, there's a comment about the basement and it not being on the plans.
I didn't see that.
Depth below grade and elevation of the footing.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that, and I didn't hear everything you said.
Yeah, I'm sorry. On the DEC memo, the basement is proposed for the new dwelling. Provide the depth below grade and elevations of the bottom of the foundation footing on the plans. Oh, you don't have the memos. They should be attached. The DEC memo should be attached to it. The last page, last sentence.
Yeah, now I have it.
So we would need that in any event, is what I'm trying to, we need that on the plans showing the elevation.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. So what's the purpose of the outside entrance, the cellar entrance?
Well, obviously, there's always a concern that there's going to be used for an illegal apartment, and you're asking for a covenant for one family use. We're readily agreeing to that. It can't be used for an apartment, but it does provide significant benefits to any occupants of the home. Like I said before, when I had a basement entrance, I found it was very useful when you're coming in and you want to come in from your backyard. You can come into the basement if you're all messed up and you don't want to come in through the house, through the main entrances. If you have things that you want to store in the basement, you don't have to take them out through the house. You can take them out through the basement entrance. So it's a nice amenity for a homeowner, but there's no intention to create an illegal apartment, and you would have a covenant that restricts the property from being used that way.
So there's an interior access to the basement?
There's going to be stairs through the house. Obviously.
In the house?
Yes.
And that won't suffice for what you need
No,
to
it provides a second one to the outside, which is a nice benefit to have.
I lived in many houses. I've never had an outside entrance, but I've used the basement. We can eliminate number 3 and number 4 if you were to conform with the front porch and with the cellar entrance. You can get rid of, you wouldn't need variance number 3 or number 4.
No, I recognize that. It's quite clear if you take those away, you don't need those 2 variances.
Is that something you might agree to, if we would approve this?
Obviously, if that's the decision, we would have to live with it. But we're looking to maintain the benefits of having a wider porch. We could, as planning points out, we could have a smaller porch and still meet code. Wouldn't need a variance for a 6-foot wide porch. And we would still have to take away the basement entrance or shorten the house, one or the other. And if that's the decision, then we'll have to do with it.
And if we were to approve this, would you agree to the subject as standard CNRs for new construction
Yes.
on both properties?
Well, when you say standard CNRs, are we including the owner occupancy?
Yeah.
So as to my request again, as to the existing house, since it is a rental, I would ask that the covenant take effect upon the first sale, or upon any sale of the property. A But again, if that's the decision of the board, if you require it, then we would have to agree to it.
We'll take it into consideration. At the moment, I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Come on up. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, just bear with me, I have hearing issues, so I brought my sister just in case I need help. My name's Donna Fisher, my address is 1071 America Avenue.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I'm
Do
sorry.
you affirm to tell the truth? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I warned you.
Yeah. What would you like to tell us about the application? What would you like to tell us about the application?
Okay, so, of course, I disagree with this. I bought, my husband and I bought the house 31 years ago. I am here speaking for me and him. He is not here because he passed away in July.
Sorry.
This will ruin the quality of my life. We found this house. It checked off all the boxes of what we wanted in a house. And the added thing was the location. By family, great school district, and no driveway across from us. We were able to have no driveways from my house to the corner where my children could be in the street, safe. We already have an issue with the tenant that's in there now, which I came before you guys, a month ago, complaining that he verbally attacked us, threatened us. You told us you can't tell who to rent it to. Now they want to put another house on the property. For what? Me to be, what? What do I do? They're not owning it. They're just building, renting, selling. It's not, it's gonna turn into Queens. You're gonna keep building houses on lots. He don't care. The owner don't care. He just wants money. I wanna live there. That's my forever house. The other neighbors, it's too close. If I wanted to move to a crowded area, I would have moved to Queens. I grew up in Nassau County, moved out to Suffolk County. And now you're gonna put a house across, a driveway coming out, cars all over, with what? An owner that lives on the other side of town, that doesn't care. When we were here last month, you asked him to do 3 things: get rid of garbage on his property, I don't know if he did that, and fix the fence. The fence was not fixed, so he doesn't follow rules. So now you're gonna allow him to build on this property. The only person it benefits is him in his pocket. So I totally disagree with this.
Okay, anything else?
I hope you guys agree with me because it's just overcrowding.
Okay.
Because he bought this house, in 2011, flipped it, knocked down trees. Great, look good for the neighborhood. Great house to have a family, a big backyard for your children to play in. They're taking that away. They're taking away my quality of life, and I disagree with it.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take that into consideration.
you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Anything else?
Just want to comment in response that the proposed dwelling would be owner-occupied. It would not be a rental, and if required by the board, the existing house will also be converted to owner occupancy as well. As I pointed out, we're only asking that that be delayed, but if it's required now, it would be done. Second, the overall comment is I don't want to have a house across the street from me because I like looking at an open space, and that's what everybody would like, but this is a parcel that's, as I said before, 17,000 or just shy of 17,000 square feet. It could be developed into 2 conforming lots if we were to knock down the existing house, but that's a large cost when weighed against the benefit of granting the relief. Should not be extracted in order to subdivide the property and conform. We don't ask our homeowners to to remove existing structures every time they come in for relief from the board.
It's a little different.
Well,
That's a little different.
it's not that different when you say the setbacks are existing, they're being maintained, and they're not affecting anyone except the same people that are affected by them now. The only change of significance, as planning points out, would be the rear yard diminishment for the existing house, even though it's the same on paper because of that minor irregularity in the way the lot is configured. It goes from a very deep backyard now to 14 feet to the side yard of the proposed house. So the only one that's affected by that is the people who will buy the proposed new dwelling if the board approves it, and they will have their eyes open when they go to buy it, that's the situation they're going to be living with. So it's not affecting any of the existing homeowners in any way. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. No, you're not. No, he was as the applicant, and that's what we said in the beginning of the, if you were here in the beginning when we went through everything that was on there, so. We'll take everything into consideration that was presented tonight. We're going to keep the record open because we need to get the elevations on the plans, so we need plans with showing the elevation of the basements. All right? All right, thanks. Thanks for coming down, we appreciate it. Too unhappy comes to lose tonight. Next application is application 25087, West Babylon Animal Hospital, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Srinivasa Madanini, 81 Arnold Avenue, West Babylon, 11704.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June the 10th, 2025. Environmental control memo dated June the 23rd, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Suffolk County Planning memo dated June 12th, 2025. Decision of local determinations. Approve, disapprove. What else? Survey by Pinnacle Land Surveyors dated March 15th, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
And Mr. Chairman, we have a fire marshal report dated June 26, 2025. No violations noted.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
So basically, I'm here for the renewal of the special permit we approved last year. And they approved only for 1 year, so basically I'm again for renewal for longer than 1 year.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Good.
Everything the same, no changes made to the business model?
No changes.
Doing
No change
exactly
in
well.
building and business.
Good. Business is good?
I'm sorry, say?
Business is good?
Really good.
Good. Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 25-087 for a period of 3 years with the condition the previously imposed CNRs.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Next application is application 25092 of Caliber Body Works of New York, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Christina Loiza. Address is 2941 Lake Vista Drive, Louisville, Texas.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For,
Pull it down a little bit.
you can pull it, yeah, there you go. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June 10th, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 23rd, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin. Undated. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 5 photographs.
okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, we would like to request the special exception permit to operate public garage as an auto body repair shop, and to continue our use. That's it.
That's it?
We want to
Okay.
keep doing business.
Okay, I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Good evening, how are you?
Hello, doing well. How are you?
Okay, I was there yesterday, and it looked clean to me. Has the debris been removed from the side of the building?
Yes,
Okay.
I sent those photos in.
And are we going to continue to store stuff outside?
No, nothing should be stored outside. The photos that were originally submitted with the application were old photos.
Okay. Should you decide to, you need to apply for outdoor storage.
Okay, will do.
Okay. And the place looks nice, looks well kept.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need a fire marshal.
Yeah, okay. You need fire marshal report. We need a fire marshal report. You need to get the fire marshal there. And he'll send the report into the zoning board office.
Okay.
Also, what's with the delay? It was due late in '23.
Yes. There was actually a lapse in the renewal of the variance. There was a transition internally, and a teammate was no longer with us, and nobody else knew about this until the landlord told us about it. And that's when we jumped through hoops to make sure that we got it done, and we're getting it done right.
So you have something in place now, so this won't happen
We
again, right?
absolutely do, so it doesn't happen again.
Okay, I'm sorry. You good?
Yep.
I mean,
Fire marshal.
We need fire marshal.
we need fire, no, I didn't mean that, yeah, if we have anything else. Okay, would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay, we're gonna close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for fire marshal report.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Next application is application 25083 of Eddie Auto Service, Inc., property located in West Babylon.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell Blanda and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning memo dated June 10th, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 23rd, 2025. There's a couple of items on here, you should have a copy of this about storage and stuff like that, waste. Fire Marshal's report dated June 26, 2025, no violations. Survey by Barrett, Bonucci, and Van Wheel, dated January 14, 2021, tax map acting as an area map, and,
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, so I'm here tonight on behalf of the property owner, Edie Auto Repair, Inc., and the tenant, Eddie Auto Service, Inc., in connection with renewing this special permit for a public garage, as well as permission to allow the outdoor storage of 2 vehicles on the west side yard. The property is known as 901 Route 109, West Babylon. It's on the northwest corner of 9th Street and 2nd Avenue. It's Zone Business E, and has a lot area of 6,000 square feet. It has a 1-story masonry building built back in 1953, and this has been an auto body repair shop since 1953. So a year ago, I came in on behalf of Eddie Auto Repair Service, Inc. to get their first special permit. As part of that approval, they had to restripe the parking lot, and that's been done. They also had to add some landscaping, things of that nature. And they also, at that time, did get a permit for their trailer. That was supposed to have been renewed back in April. There was a little bit of miscommunication, I think, when the applicant thought I was filing for the special permit. I think they assumed I was doing the trailer as well. I wasn't aware of it. However, I personally filed it yesterday. I do have the receipt with me if the board wants a copy of it, but I did personally take care of filing it with the building department yesterday and with all the requisite paperwork and the fee. So the trailer permit application, like I said, has been filed. As far as the site, I think it's cleaned up, it's better, it's an upgrade considering what it looked like before. And so we're just respectfully requesting to renew for 3 years at this time.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Okay, so you would agree to the previously filed CNRs?
Yes.
And the condition that, the two conditions, the application, you've already applied for the,
Yes,
storage
I'll give you the
permit?
receipt, this way you have it for the file. Do you want it?
Your word is you're an
Okay,
attorney.
great.
And there will be no more than 2 vehicles awaiting repair on the west side yard. You agree
Yes.
to this? Okay. We need Suffolk County.
Need Suffolk County planning, okay. We need Suffolk County planning on this.
I understand.
Would anyone, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Come on up. Name and address for the record, please.
Eugene Gabriel. Address is 185 Second Avenue, West Babylon, New York. I'm the house directly behind Eddie.
Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
I will.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the
Just want to let
application?
you know, I mean, since you guys, we met here a year ago, he's done everything you've asked. He maintains that lot to a T. He washes it constantly. The stripes, if they chip, he's out there every other week painting them, making sure everything stays clean. Never has he stored more than 2 cars. He's done everything you guys have asked for, and it's been phenomenal.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay, so we're going to close the hearing, reserve. Oh, you coming up? Okay, come on up. I thought that group was here for somebody else. Name and address for the record, please.
Hello, Michael Bisson, 508 15th Street, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
What would you like to tell us?
I believe Eddie's auto is an asset to our neighborhood. He's very prompt, and he tries to address all as many customers as he can a day. But he's been fair and clean, fair price, busy, and great guy. I don't know. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning. We'll make our decision. We don't have well, when we get to Suffolk County Planning, we'll make the decision. Okay? Thank you. Thanks for coming down.
Eddie,
Appreciate
being a
that.
good neighbor. Is that really him?
Wow. I got to tell you, this is really great. We don't usually get this many people coming here to say nice things about people, you know? Thanks for coming down. We appreciate it.
Wish I could go there.
Okay, the next application is application 25093. That is being adjourned to July the 17th.
Oh, man.
They wanted to come.
Next applications, is it? No, it's one. Next application, oh no, I don't, wait.
12 was adjourned?
12 is adjourned.
Right, so now here are the adjourned ones.
So I just want to make sure I got them in the right order. Okay, so I do. Okay, so application 25086 of Jose Bolino, property located in Copeg. 6-8, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell, Blanda, and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated May 29th, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 25th, 2025, Subject application showed a proposed expand basement, but did not include a test bore.
There's an updated.
There's an
one.
updated one? Oh, okay, got it, okay. Okay, all right. What else we got here? I think that's all I have on this one. Oh, wait a second. This is like a couple of weeks old. Okay. Tax map acting as an area map. A survey by Michael K. Wicks dated January 11, 2024. And
Chairman, there's one photograph in the site plan by Harold E. Gebhardt, dated March 4th, 2025.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of the property owner seeking variances in connection with a proposed one-story and second-story addition and a front porch to an existing dwelling that was built back in 1931. The property is located on the east side of Howard Street, south of Ralph Avenue in Copeg. It's zoned Residence B. It does have a lot area of 5,940 square feet, which is an existing condition. And again, it's presently improved with a one-story residence that was built in 1931. We do have an accurate assessment letter stating that the structure, minus the side bump out, was there since prior to the code. This will be an overall improvement to the property. The side bump out that was built without permits will be eliminated. So that, I keep calling it a bump out, but that little addition that was approximately 7 by 14 will be demolished, and that will actually increase the south side yard setback. So the proposal is to demolish that side addition and construct a 225 square foot rear addition, a 774 square foot second story addition, and a small front porch. The rear addition is not going to generate a rear yard variance, so we're just going a little further back. The second story addition is going to go right over the existing structure, and the existing structure has a front yard setback of 25.3 feet. So because of our 81 square foot front porch, that's going to bring us to a front yard setback of 21.7 feet. And we're requesting that variance because we do feel that it actually enhances the property and makes the front facade look more aesthetically pleasing. I was happy to see that planning actually agreed with that and liked it as well. So we are requesting that front yard setback variance. We're also requesting a side yard variance for the total side yard setbacks from 30 feet to 23.8 feet. But I'd like to point out that, again, this is an improvement from the existing condition. So right now, the total side yards of the existing structure is about 19.6 feet. So by eliminating that little side bump out, we'll actually increase our total side yards, albeit we still need a variance. Also, the majority of the side yards are actually larger than their smallest pinch point. If you look at the property, it kind of does this weird, it veers as you go towards the rear yard, as you head east on the property along the south side actually heads eastward. So it widens, so to speak. And we end up with a side yard at the widest point near the structure of 18.8 feet. On the north side, we mostly have a side yard of 15.8 feet, but at the window well, it becomes 12.1. So just to kind of put the variance in perspective. So we are seeking a south side yard variance from 12 feet to 11.7, which is minimal, and again, occurs at that pinch point. But all in all, this application is an improvement to the house that is there, and it improves the existing conditions that are there. There'll be a reconfiguration of the floor plan, so that it'll work better. There'll be an open floor plan, kitchen in the rear of the home now with a full bathroom. There'll be a bedroom on the first floor, and then on the second floor, they're going to have 3 bedrooms and a full bathroom. To the south is St. John the Baptist Food Distribution Center. Across Howard are some commercially and industrially zoned properties. There are a few Residence B zoned properties in this area, but as you can see, they're not actually used residentially. And we do agree to the condition. I believe there's a condition requested not to enclose the front porch. We do consent to that. If the board has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Delavecchia.
I think you answered just about every one of my questions. I definitely agree that it will be an enhancement of the neighborhood. So that bump out, as you call it, is being removed, you guys are extending the back and then just going directly over?
Yes, yep,
And you agree that the front porch will not be enclosed?
yes, we agree.
No further questions, Mr. Chairman?
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Just add for the record that there was a DEC memo dated June 3rd, 2025, and then an updated memo dated June 25th, 2025.
For the record.
For minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 25-068 with the condition that the front porch not be enclosed. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next applications are application 25072A and B. Property is located in Lindenhurst.
Good evening, again, Nicole Blanda, Bazell Blanda Visconti, 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning memo on both the A and the B application. We also have environmental controlled on both those applications. Test boards were submitted based on the test boards along with this road. Okay. The basement is not problematic as far as flooding goes. If we were to approve this application, it would need a negative declaration. Suffolk County Planning, what is this? Dated June 20th, 25. It's a whole new format on here. Okay, it's a decision of local determination, take no position for or against. That's the same thing on the B application. We have tax map acting as an area map. We have on the A application, a survey by Michael K. Wicks, which is updated February 3rd, 2025. We also have one on the B application, also February 3rd, 2025 by Michael K. Wicks. And an overall, also by Michael K. Wicks, also dated February 3rd, 2025. And
Chairman, there's one photograph and two site plans by Harold E. Gebhardt for both applications dated March 18, 2025.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant seeking variances in connection with a proposed two-lot subdivision. The applicant is in contract to purchase the property. The property is located on the north side of 43rd Street, about 30 feet west of Sunrise Highway. It has a lot area of 15,049 square feet. It is zoned Residence B. It's currently vacant in terms of structures. The property owner apparently was storing some vehicles on the site. I don't know if it was in connection with some of the commercial properties that are in the area. However, I had the applicant talk to the property owner and explain that that's not permitted and he can't be doing that. And so they were removed. I have a couple of photos. If the board is interested, I could share them, that the vehicles have been removed. And he explained to the owner that he was jeopardizing his application. All utilities are readily available to the site, and obviously, if my client takes ownership and can build on this property, we won't have to worry about, commercial vehicles being parked here. So we're seeking to subdivide this oversized parcel into two lots and construct a new single-family dwelling on each lot. Lot 1, we're proposing to diminish the front street line width from 80 feet required to 75.12 feet, and diminish the lot area from 10,000 square feet required to 7,524.77 square feet, and then diminish the rear yard setback from 40 feet required to 32 feet. We comply with the front yard setback and the side yard setback requirements, as well as the height allowance. We are proposing a 2-story, 4-bedroom house with a basement. Water was encountered at 12 feet below surface. And we do have enough of a separation between water and the bottom of the foundation. Laundry would be in the basement. in case the board was wondering. We did review the location of the driveway on the east side of the property, as was indicated in the planning memo. The reason for this location for these driveways is because the sewer spur is on the west side. So the health department and county DPW, they do not like when a driveway is installed over the sewer line. So we would like to keep the driveway in the location that we are proposing, and we're willing to discuss it further with planning should we get to the next phase of this application. And we could make it a double driveway if the board wanted that for additional parking. So in other words, I believe a site plan was submitted, but I think it went only to the DEC, the town DEC, that there was a little plot plan on the bottom. I do have extra copies if the board wants. We could increase the driveway to be 20 feet wide so that we could accommodate, more cars to be parked since there's no internal garage being proposed within these homes. A double driveway would not interfere with the sewer line that's on the west side. For Lot 2, we're seeking similar variances. We're seeking to diminish the front street width, again, from 80 feet to 75.12 feet, diminish the lot area from 10,000 square feet to 7,524.77 square feet, and diminish the rear yard setback from 40 feet to 31 feet. Again, 4-bedroom home, 4 full bathrooms, the basement. The surrounding area, there are some, it's a mixed size area, I would say. The south side of 43rd Street is actually the village of Lindenhurst, and you have commercial properties along 43rd Street. There is a very high fence that kind of acts as screening for that. On the north side of 43rd Street are other dwellings. 2 doors west is a parcel that is a 75 by 100 foot parcel. To the east on the corner are Business E properties with offices. To the rear of our property, so to the north, address is 223 44th Street. That's a 75-footer. So while there are many lots that do comply with Residence B zoning, there are also many lots, at least on 44th Street, that do not and are closer to what we're proposing, which is a 75 by 100. There's 2 smaller lots as well on 44th that are actually 50-footers. But overall, given that this is the last vacant lot on this street, we do believe that this would be an upgrade for the site. And these would be, very attractive homes to be put here. And of course, the applicant would consent to all the covenants that are requested, including single-family, owner-occupied, no accessory apartments, et cetera. If the board has questions, I'm happy to answer. And if you want, I can submit this plan that shows the bigger driveway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
Hi, how are you?
Like you said before, it would be an improvement to the neighborhood. Get those commercial vehicles off of there. They are an eyesore. I wouldn't be opposed to the double driveway, especially the house closest to Sunrise. Less cars on the street, the better.
Right.
That location, so I'm not opposed to that. There's no cellar entrances to these houses, correct?
Correct.
No habitable space in the basement.
Right, I think it's just for laundry. Right.
Again, the location of the driveway because of the spur, I'm fine with that too as well.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Need a negative declaration. Katie? Planning need time to review the driveway being widened or?
I'm okay with it. It's gonna have to go to planning as well. So as long as that they're agreeing that they're meeting the lot coverage, the total lot coverage and the front yard lot coverage. Right, it meets the,
It wouldn't generate a further variance. If for some reason we found out it generated a variance, we'd just go back to it being. But I don't believe it does.
and the proposed houses meet total building area as well? You don't need a variance for that?
Correct.
make a motion to adopt a negative declaration on applications 25072A and B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve applications 25072A and 25072B with the proposed covenants and restrictions for both new constructions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Need to drink something else. Oh, that ends the